Spoon flaps. Alright, we're going to go over the top 15 rarest Nintendo 64 cartridges. We're only going to be going over the cartridges, no boxes, no manuals, and we're also not going to be covering any variants, such as color differences or bundles. Alright, let's get started with a quick few honorable mentions. Duck Dodgers, which just barely missed out on making it onto this list. This one was just produced in low quantities. It's not that bad a game, honestly. It's kind of a ripoff of Super Mario 64. Cruisin' Exotica, another game that actually isn't that expensive, and it probably isn't rare compared to other ones, but this one, for some reason, was so much more difficult to find compared to the other two cruising games on this system. Conker's Bad Fur Day, the game everyone loves to say is rare, but it's actually not rare at all. Ha ha ha. Really good game. I would definitely recommend this. This is one of the top 10 best games on the system. Chameleon Twist 2. Chameleon Twist number 1 is also pretty uncommon, but number 2 I've hardly ever seen in public or online. This one's only about $20. I would recommend this if you like any of the other platformers like Banjo-Kazooie on the system. Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3. A very cool sequel to Tony Hawk Pro Skater 2 and 1. This one was just released at the end of the N64's lifespan. It's not very good compared to the GameCube and PS2 versions, as well as the Xbox version. Do not get this one or the PlayStation 1. And then last honorable mention, Mario Party 3. Again, it was produced at the end of the N64's lifespan, so it's not that rare, but it is in high demand, so that's probably why people love to say that it's rare, just to make their copies more expensive. Alright, number 15. Starting off with a Blockbuster exclusive. I wonder how many times I'm going to be saying that. Hint, it's a lot. The NFL Blitz series, all of the NFL Blitz games are pretty popular on this system. Out of all the sports games, I'd say that Blitz series is the best football one on the N64. This one was only released in Blockbuster, and it's just an updated version of 2001, I believe. Don't quote me on that. It has new players. Pretty good game. All right. Number 14, one of my favorite games, Snowboard Kids 2. I think this is one of the best racing games after Diddy Kong Racing and Mario Kart 64. This one is so much fun. Snowboard Kids number 1 is also pretty uncommon. Atlas, the company that made this, has only made 3 games, Snowboard Kids 1, Snowboard Kids 2, and another game that will be appearing on this list very shortly. They always seem to release some of their older games in limited quantities. This one's about $40. Number 13, Castlevania Legacy of Darkness, a sequel, quote-unquote, to the Castlevania 64. Yeah, this one is a pretty good update to the Castlevania 64. It's not great compared to the older Castlevanias, but I'd say at least if you only had to pick one, I would definitely go with this one. This one is about $45. Number 12, the other Atlas game that I did not mention, Ogre Battle 64. This is a strategy RPG game. RPGs are pretty hard to find on the N64, and this one is one of the rarest, for sure, if not the rarest. This one goes for about $48, and this one has amazing music, and it's lots of fun. I highly recommend this one. Number 11, Goemon's Great Adventure. Like Snowboard Kids 2, this one also has a prequel game, quote-unquote, kind of. Another game in the series on N64 called Mystical Ninja. That one's also pretty uncommon, just like Snowboard Kids 1. This one's a 2D platformer, while the other original one was 3D. This one is actually a lot of fun. I highly recommend this one. Alright, getting into the top 10. This is where it starts getting weird. Alright, PGA European Tour. This one would not have been considered rare a few years ago, but it's definitely gotten up there as time has gone on. This one goes for about $43. This is one of the most expensive sports games on the system. and definitely a pain to find, especially compared to NFL Blitz Special Edition. Number 9, StarCraft 64. This is a port of the PC version. If you had to get any version, I would definitely recommend that one, or literally any one other than the N64. This one isn't too bad for a home console release, but it's just okay. This one goes for about $45. Going on to Transformers Beast Wars Transmetals. This one is another Blockbuster exclusive, obviously. And this is a terrible fighting game. You pick one of the characters from the Transformers Beast Wars series, and then you fight against another one. And that's it. That's all you do, over and over again. The controls are bad. The game is bad. Do not play this. Another $45 game. Alright, next, big leap in price now. Bomberman 64, The Second Attack. This one goes for about $100. However, I don't consider it as rare as some of the games upcoming on this list, even though it's very expensive. Just like Bomberman 64, this game is also very good. If you like the first one, this one is a much better version of the first one. Like Mario Party 3 and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3, it came out at the end of the N64's lifespan, which is why it was not produced in as many quantities as the first game. Moving on. Carmageddon 64. Terrible, terrible racing game. It only takes, like, literally after the announcer says go to realize why this game is bad. The controls are bad. It just, like, there's nothing fun about this game. The cars explode like crazy. It's just bad. This one is about $45, and it's definitely much rarer than Bomberman The Second Attack. I expect this one to go up in price pretty soon. My ugly copy of Worms Armageddon. This one was released on all the consoles around at the same time. However, only the Nintendo 64 version is the rare one. This one can go for upwards of $120 or more. Pretty crazy. It's a pretty fun game. I wouldn't, even though I've been bashing all the N64 ports, this one's actually pretty good. Alright, only 4 games left. Stunt Racer 64, another Blockbuster exclusive. This one is a very fun racing game. I would probably place this one after Snowboard Kids 1. So there's a lot of racing games that are better than this one, but this one's still pretty good. This one goes for about $130. If you happen to have this complete in box, you definitely have something pretty expensive. It used to go for about $400, and now I'm seeing it go for $1,000 or more. However, just this game by itself is $130. Number 3, International Superstar Soccer 2000. Despite the fact that this game only goes for $70 right now, to find this game in North America is just ludicrous. I love when you boot up the game that it starts talking about football, because football is the international word for soccer. The United States is weird and calls it soccer. In the PAL region, this game isn't that rare. Probably because football or soccer is more popular in the other regions. I usually see this listed online mostly from South America. It's very difficult to find one from North America. You could only get this at Blockbuster, just like many of the other games on this list, and it was only available for one summer. I wonder if you can guess which year it was. Number 2, Super Bowling. A game that probably would have been several spots lower on the list a couple years ago. This game goes for upwards of $180 or more now. Compared to other bowling games, this one's just mediocre, honestly. There's better bowling games on this. Does this really deserve the price? I don't know. It's considered rare, just like the other ones I mentioned in the honorable mention section, because it was released at the end of the N64's lifespan. And unlike those, no one actually wanted to buy this game. I wonder why. It looks pretty boring. It is pretty boring. Do not play this. And finally, number 1, it's Superman 64. No, just kidding. Clay Fighters Sculptor's Cut. The director is Frosty, and it is on take 63 1/3, which is a reference to the fact that this is just an upgraded version of Clay Fighters 63 1/3, also released on the N64. This one you could only get in Blockbuster. It is exclusive to North America. If we were going by the PAL region, Snowboard Kids number 2 definitely would have taken the list instead of this one. This game right here is considered to be worth $350 or so. This is a fighting game. Since there really aren't that many good fighting games on the system, even though this game is just okay at best, I would probably rank this like on the top 10 list of best fighting games. And that was my list. If you want to see any more lists, I also collect Nintendo Amiibo and the Virtual Boy games. If you want to see any videos on those, please comment below. If you disagree with me on the rarity or the prices, feel free to leave your angry comments below. All right, have a nice day.